what is going on? It is Nate, and we got another video today. I apologize, I look like a disaster. I just went to the gym, and it's hot. I'm back home for a few days, or like back at my parents' house, I guess you would say, because I don't live here anymore. But anyways, I'm back here and it's hot, and I'm not used to it. I'm sweating a lot. Anyways, so this video is gonna be straight sauce. So listen up, get out a notebook, whatever you gotta do. Don't just listen to this information and then say, oh yeah, I get that, and then never apply it. Because like I said, I've spent thousands of hours studying this material, studying the mind, studying the laws of the world, studying everything that you could study about this. Now, am I saying I know everything? Absolutely not. But I have spent a ridiculous amount of time listening to, watching, reading, studying, whatever it is. And let me tell you, it's not a matter of knowing it, it's a matter of doing it. And those are two very different things. We know how to do a lot of things, but we don't do them. And that's what most people do, is they read these books, they watch these seminars, blah, 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 but they don't do it. And then they're like, oh, well, I read Think and Grow Rich, I didn't get rich, it's a scam. Well, did you do it? No, okay, right? They're like all these things, they give you steps and you have to actually do it. And so simply listening to my videos or watching them and writing it down and taking notes, that doesn't change anything. You have to write it down, you have to say, how can I apply this to my life? And then you have to make a committed decision, hey, this is what I'm doing now every single day for the next 30 days until it becomes a habit. So what is the formula for riches? That is this video, the formula for riches. It's an exact formula, and I'm going to give it to you because it's a science, right? Science of getting rich. It's not guessing, it's not hoping, it's not wishing, it's a fact, right? I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. So first things first, you got to know what you want. That's the first mistake a lot of people make, is like, I don't really know what I want. Okay, well, sit down, get a piece of paper, write it down, figure out what you want. Ask, what do I want? I promise you, you'll figure out what you want pretty quickly. But most people go their whole life without ever doing that. So ask yourself, what do I want? It doesn't matter if it's realistic. It doesn't matter if it's logical. It doesn't matter if you know how to do it. Actually, you shouldn't know how to do it. If you know how to do it, then you'd already be doing it. Or if you know how to do it, then it's probably not a very big goal. It's not going to keep you inspired, and you're probably not going to follow through with it. So think of a goal that would just put you on fire, right? If I was like, dude, you know, you can have $100,000 a month. Like, if that sets you off, if that puts you on fire, then that needs to be your goal. If it's $1 million a month, if that's what sets you off, then do $1 million a month. If it's 10K a month, if that's what puts you on fire, then do 10K a month. The trick is just doing what you want, not what someone else says you should want, not what you think is logical, but what you really want. Because we have these desires for a reason, and the biggest mistake people make is they think that they can't achieve them. But let me ask you something. The same God that created this earth, that created you, that created everything, it's the same God that created that desire within your heart. So why are you saying you can't do it? Why are you saying you can't earn that much? Why are you saying you can't have that car? Why are you saying you can't do these things? God is for expansion and expression. God wants us to have more, do more, and be more. He wants you to achieve your goals more than you even want to achieve them. That's the truth of the matter. He wants you to achieve it more than you even want it. So you have to understand, okay, God, right, the creator of all creations, and whatever, if you know, this applies, I know everyone has different beliefs, right? And I'm not saying this like you know, whatever. But I believe in God, right? I'm a Christian, I believe in God. But if you refer to God as something else, whatever. Anyways, that's not my point. You have to understand that the creator of all creations is within you, and the creator of all creations wants more life, more expression, more expansion, bigger, better, faster, right? That is what God wants. That is expansion, that is growth. Look at the plants, look at the animals. Everything's growing. If it's not growing, it's disintegrating. Create or disintegrate. If you're not creating, you're disintegrating, and you can't stay the same. So if you're like, oh, I like what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna stay here, you're getting worse. The world's going forward, you're staying the same, therefore you're going backwards, right? There's no such thing as staying the same. So anyways, to be continued later, I'll go on that tangent later. But so what's the formula? So step one, know what you want, right? And for this example, and for most people's examples, it's probably gonna be money related, right? So for me, $100,000 a month, that's my vision. And so first, you need two different visions. You need a mental image, right? So $100,000 bank statement, or $100,000 P&L on your trading account, whatever it is. You need just a mental image of that, right? You need to formulate that in your mind. And then two, you need a mental vision, right? They're different things. So the image is just one clear image, like $100,000. The vision is the life, right? So the vision is what puts you on fire. The image is what you hold in your mind all day. So you have to have both of these, but they both reflect the $100,000, right? Or whatever your goal is. So if your goal is $100,000 a month, what does your life look like at that point? What do your days look like? What cars are you driving? Where are you living? Who are you with? Who are you married to, right? Think of this life. That's your vision, but the image is what reminds you of that vision, right? So you need that mental image. And then step two, you have to take actions with faith and with purpose. So here's the problem is people, and I'm speaking from experience here, is people, wow, that crosswalk gives you 40 seconds. That's crazy. So people will have the thinking, right? They'll do the journaling, they'll do the writing, they'll do the meditations, whatever. But when it comes to taking the actions, they don't even think about their goal. They don't even think about their purpose. They don't even think about anything. And then they go back and then they do their meditations, their journaling, their reading, and then they go and they take the actions. And it's two separate lives. But the thing is, this is how you can move extremely fast. This is how you can literally achieve anything in any amount of time. Because the truth is, the way for you to make $100,000 this month, the way for you to make $100,000 today, the way exists. We don't know how, but it's already here. It's in the world. It's already created. And so you just have to tap into it, right? So you have to understand, okay, while I'm taking these actions, I have to be communicating to God. Let me get over. Sorry, 1 second. I don't want to hit these construction workers. That would be a bad day. So you have to communicate to God, right? Do you think that God communicates through words, right? If you look at the Bible, it says, before you speak, I'll hear. So what do you think, how do you think God listens or knows what you want? It's through vibration, right? It's through your thoughts and your vibrations. So you have to understand, okay, I need to be moving in that, I need to know what I want. I need to communicate to God what it is that I want. And I need to be moving in that direction with absolute faith and purpose that I'm going to get what I want. Right? Because like the Bible says, before you, or no, not before you speak, I'll hear. Asking you shall receive, right? Asking you shall receive. Do you think that only means certain things? Do you think that only means? No, the truth is everything we have in our life we ask for, but we don't realize we ask for it because we don't realize what we're thinking about. We don't realize what we're imagining, and therefore that's what we get, and then we get mad that we got it, but we're the ones that gave it to ourselves. We're the ones that casted that upon ourselves. God just fulfills our desires. So, back on topic. You need to know what you want, okay? And then you need to hold that image in your mind all day long, right? And so I was talking to one of my clients or members or students, whatever you want to call it, and we're talking about this. I was like, it has to be an obsession. Think about it like a girl or a guy. If you're a girl, you know, think about the guy, whatever. If you're a dude, right? When you have that crush, when you think that girl, when you want that girl or whatever, you don't have to get out a goal card to remind yourself to think about the girl, right? That's just ridiculous. No, you're thinking about her all day long. You're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, what could I do? Like, how could I ask her out? Like, well, you know, you're thinking about it all day long, and you're not having to get out a goal card that says, I am so happy and grateful now that I am dating this person. No, that's just ridiculous, right? So what is the purpose of the goal cards? Because I do believe in goal cards. I have one in my pocket. I always do. That's to keep you consistent with it, right? But you want it to be a burning desire. You want it to be an obsession where it is always in your mind. So this is the way I do that. So first thing in the morning, this is my new routine. I've been adjusting it and tweaking it and figuring out what works best for me. But first things first, whatever, I get up, I use a restroom, brush my teeth, whatever. And then I'm doing it's a 5-minute gratitude meditation, I guess. But you just sit there for 5 minutes and you take deep breaths and you feel gratitude for the things you have in your life. You feel gratitude for what's coming, and therefore it pulls you into the present moment. And now what you do is you pull the image of the mental image of what you want, and you hold that on your mind and you feel grateful for it, right? And when you are done with the meditation, you still feel that feeling of gratitude. Your job is to hold the feeling of gratitude all day long while holding the image. Now you might be like, well, that's crazy, right? How do I do that? You can. Trust me, you're always imagining stuff, and you have a will. You have the will, and your will is what allows you to choose what you hold in your mind. So you do get to choose it. It might not be easy at first, but you can do it. And so that's what you do, right? So you figure out the image, you hold that image in your mind, you feel gratitude for that image, right? That's the trick. Your gratitude is your connection to God. Your gratitude is sending thanks to your Father, right? So if you're showing thanks for what you don't even have yet, I mean, come on, you're creating what they call a vacuum, and like it's going to move into your life because you're showing gratitude for it, right? So therefore you must get it. And then last thing, I already kind of covered it, but I went out of order, is moving with faith and purpose, right? So when I'm taking an action, when I'm doing anything in my life, even if it's not related to my goal, I have the image of what it is that I want. I feel grateful for that image, and I'm operating in faith and purpose with absolute faith that the desires I have, is this person just going to back into me? That the desires that I have, or the goal I have, is going to move into form. Right? So it's not a guess, it's not a hope, it's not a wish, it's a no, it's a belief. And that belief is what causes things to move into form. And so the problem is a lot of people, they'll take these actions, but they don't believe that it's going to happen. They don't believe they're going to make a lot of money. They don't believe their goals will be realized, and then therefore they're never realized. Or people they'll have the beliefs that, you know, they'll step aside, whatever, you know, they'll do their meditations, and then they take the actions and they just think of all the negative things, what could go wrong, you know, all those. And so you have to understand that it's when you connect the two, the thoughts and the actions, the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions. And that's exactly what I'm telling you how to do. You have the thought, right? You have the mental image, you have the feeling of gratitude, and you have the actions. You're taking the actions. If you have the thoughts, feeling, and actions of a $100,000 person, I don't know how in the world you wouldn't get the $100,000 result. You're doing something wrong, right? So it's an exact equation. It's an exact science, and that's what people mess up. So I hope I didn't talk your ear off too much, but that's all for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. I don't know what the next one will be, but we'll see. Anyways, watch that video like 5 times over. I know I went really fast, but the moral of the story is create a mental, know what you want, right? Create that goal, have a mental image, right? So the bank statement or whatever it is, have a mental vision, and you work on that every single day on your free time. Think about what you want, think about, live that life, right? And then step 3 is while you're doing the actions, you hold the image in your mind, you feel gratitude for that image, and you work in faith and purpose, knowing that you will get everything that you desire. So hope you guys enjoyed, hope that helps, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.